Welcome to the UAT Game Studios Game Job Fair recruiting session at the beginning of the semester. We're going to start with Looters of the Arcane. Give them a hand, guys.
Hello everybody, my name is Regis Jerry. I am the project lead for Looters of the Arcane. Oh. Well, now I look silly.
What was that best part?
I'm all hyped up on Mountain Dew. I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm pressing the freeze button. There we go. Just had to show it some love. Okay, Looters of the Arcane, fight when you can, run when you can't. Our LLC that we're trying to release the game with is Evil Bear Gaming. We tentatively want to release the game at the end of this semester, so that's what we're going to be pushing for this semester. What is Luda? Luda is a survival horror game where the player has two objectives: secure the arcane object and get out alive. So what do we have right now? Right now we have a few different levels. We have the asylum, we have enemies for the level, and we have personality types for each of the levels. Some of the personalities still need to be worked on, so that's where we're going to end up needing programmers. And some of the levels, like with Ancient Greece, they're not quite fully built yet. That's where I'm going to end up needing level designers. Somebody that wants to do set design, that's going to be a big thing. But we're also going to be needing a designer for world building, somebody that can actually tell a story and get us something to actually build the world with. Right now, we have a few artists, so we're pretty good on the 3D modeling part for the environment. However, a lot of these areas, they do need people, and they do need enemies that are actually scary looking. So one of the things that we need is we need a character artist. The character artist is the main artist that we're going to end up needing. However, we also need somebody that's willing to do UI art. We want to revamp all of our UI art and also like advertisements, that sort of thing. So once we release the game, it all looks the same, it all looks fluid, and it doesn't look, like a designer that just discovered Photoshop made it. Other than that, we need 2 to 3 designers, level design, set design, documentation. That's not exactly a big part. However, a lot of the documentation that we're going to end up needing is going to be later on in the semester. That's going to be when we end up needing some quality assurance. We need to make sure that the game's fun. And with that, you're going to have to be able to document what's wrong with the game, why is it not fun, or what bugs have you found. And we need to be able to tell the programmers quickly and concisely what it is and how to fix it. The main thing, though, that I need this semester, this is the biggest, is I need 2 to 3 programmers. I have 1 right now, so I'm going to need at least 1 to 2 more. And then if anybody wants to take a crack at multiplayer programming, this is going to be a solo job. We need this, otherwise we have to strip multiplayer out of the game. So if somebody wants to take up that job, that will be the entire job for the entire semester. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we're going to continue to work after that to try to get it in later. So what we want to do right now is polish our 4 existing levels, expand with the 1 final one, and then add in anything that's not yet implemented. We have a few things that we still need to get in, so that's where the programming and the art side kind of comes in. However, we need to make sure that everything looks like it's meant to be there. So if the designers can actually work with our levels and make sure that everything actually feels appropriate for not only the time period, but also like what the personality is supposed to be, that's what we're going to end up needing. Thank you for your consideration.
It doesn't go high enough.
There's a seat right there.
Oh, he got it. Okay. Hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I am James Fisher, project lead for Life or Death. And hello, online people. Where is this? Bam. Okay. So, what is Life or Death? And what are we trying to achieve? It's an arena fighting game where the whole goal is to gain renown so that you can build your village up to nothing but wondrous glory. Through fighting through the arena and gaining renown, you'll do things like customize your village, build your character, add other aesthetics and customization options. As developers, we always want to strive for a skillful, passionate community experience for all our players. The team right now currently is lead programmer Michael and lead artist Steven, crushing it out there. This is some of our previous work with some of our artists that we had last semester. They did a fantastic job with weapon modeling, not only weapon modeling, but props, just crushed it on that end, and buildings. What we need this semester is we want new buildings for the new cultures and more Japanese buildings for some of the ones we didn't get through, new weapons. We want a polished multiplayer, so we're going to need programmers, a lot of artists. We're looking for like 2 programmers, but if we can get 3 artists, fantastic, and at least 2 designers. This is some concept art for the next cultures we want, which are Aztec and Spartans. That's what we really want to get in, like a rough foundation of their weaponry, maybe some cosmetics for them, things of that nature. And then I'll pull up the build real quick so you could see where we're at right now and a little bit of what we got going, because it looks fantastic in my opinion. And everybody knows my opinion is fact.
That's a lie.
So we have our main village, and in the main village we have buildings and everything ready for people to customize, upgrade from the blacksmith, our currency, which is silver, steel, and gold. We also have market levels for you to upgrade as you go along. This is the final tier of the market, and then we have our main hub for where you will get ready for battles and talk with your friends and chit chat. We're trying to set up a tournament mode this time around where you'll be able to like bet in to see what you can get, and this is where you'll set everything up and get ready for that at the tavern. I'm going to put this on easy because, you know, time's sake. And this is our AI right now where... Oh, I should have turned that down. This dude's blocking like a mug. Oh, I'm out of stamina. Yeah, you can run out of stamina and stuff. We don't have a stamina bar. This time around, we want to make it to where as your stamina depletes, your dude starts to breathe heavier. Every time you get striked, you get that like that blood rush in on the screen. And then a chest somewhere that drops to show you've won instead of this. You'll see what I'm talking about when it pops up. Instead of that, we want to make it to where it's just, you know, chest drops and you buy it. Thank you guys for your time. You have a good one.
Oh. Now it just went back on, it looks like.
Yeah.
There we go. Alright, just leave it like that. I touched it and there was a static shock and then it turned off. Alright. Hello everybody, my name is Donald Shepis. I am the team lead for Gray Area. So I'm going to try and get through this quickly. What is Gray Area? A pair of industry veterans, Daryl Wofford and Doug Doyne, who've been at companies like Electronic Arts, Cheyenne Mountain Studios, and Eline Media, wanted to build a new game in the production studio. And so with their team from Reign and Rebellion, they took 48 hours in a game jam and built the seed of what would become Gray Area. A game where you play the sole surviving alien from the 1947 Roswell, New Mexico crash. You spend your time trying to avoid the military and anybody else looking for you, stealthing around and using your mental abilities like telekinesis and mind reading to influence the characters around you and avoid detection and eventually build what you need to get back home. So after the game jam, we had our summer semester of development. We spent about 7 weeks on pre-production and then 8 weeks on focused on core development. Over our last semester, we focused very heavily on iterating everything we had as well as adding in a lot of new content. So what are our goals for this semester? Well, we really want to double down on the crash site, double down on our mechanics, and really go just overboard with iterating on them. We want to bring our graphical fidelity up higher. We want to make sure that the gameplay is even more solid than it is. We want to make sure that the crash site is a great experience and that we begin to have the psychological effect and the impact on the player that we want. So that's going to be a lot of working on new assets for the foliage in the crash site, as well as things like lighting and effects. We're going to be spending a lot of time also trying to get new animations in and improving the ones that we currently have, as well as additional UI effects, so that way the player's constantly getting feedback. On the gameplay side, we definitely want to improve our AI. We want to bring it up so that way the influence system and our stealth system are a lot more impactful and that they have a lot more complexity, and it's a lot easier for the player to see that they're actually intelligent in doing things. We want to iterate on our disguise and stealth systems, since they form the core of our gameplay that's actually more mechanical and that's easier for somebody to pick up and start using immediately. We're also having a big focus on efficiency. Two of our shareholder programmers, Charles Cozart and Chase Modry, are going to be taking a lot of time this semester by revamping our code base, making it so that everything that's in gray area is up to a level of quality that we want it to be, so that way the code will survive the project in its length. Because currently we're building the MVP, but we want things to be as transferable to a full game as possible. We also really want to focus on our first-time user experience. This being an MVP, the first 30 seconds to a minute that the player has when they immediately sit down and start playing is incredibly important. We want to make sure that is very engaging and leads us into the rest of the play experience. That way everything the player is doing at the crash site is fun, engaging, and hooks the player. So, why would you want to come work on Gray Area? Well, first off, Opera Skunk is the LLC that Doug and Daryl are managing this project through. They are professional shareholders. Like I said, they've worked at Electronic Arts. Doug's over at Eline Media right now. They have a lot of experience and they bring a lot of value to the table, and we have a heavy focus on mentorship. Both Doug and Daryl and the other leads on the project, we're all here to make sure that you learn as much as possible and that you do the highest quality work you can do at this point in your career, so that way you have solid portfolio pieces and you really get something out of working with us. We also have kind of a unique development setting. There's not a whole lot of games that focus entirely on stealth and manipulating NPCs, and fewer games about the 1947 Roswell crash. And Doug, I believe you want to talk a little bit about some internship opportunities Opera Skunk has?
Yeah, so my name's Doug. If you guys haven't met me, you'll know, because I'm usually loud and boisterous. I kind of mimic Derek. I like to talk a lot. He doesn't like to talk a lot, actually. So basically, with Opera Skunk, what we're trying to do is give you guys that are in this setting an opportunity to really see what it's like in the real world. So I've pretty much 100% bought into UAT because my kid goes here. It's probably his worst nightmare, but you know, that's on him. He'll figure it out. He thinks, oh, I got an automatic internship. Well, he doesn't. The bottom line is we want to make sure you guys get it right when you get out there. I've been doing this since '96. I've ran through QA. I was a producer on Madden. I've done everything but art. I couldn't draw. My drawing is dropping a box of crayons. Like, I can't believe what artists do. So we want to make sure you guys have the opportunity to, one, have a solid voice, like your opinion matters. That's a big deal, right? Especially in design, art, even in the code aspect. And two, we want to give opportunities, like I mentioned earlier. Both Charles and Chase are now pretty much an Opera Skunk employee, right? So Charles, in fact, is working with me at Eline, and that relationship came because of here. I want to leverage my relationships that I have over the 20 some odd years I've been doing this for everybody in this room. So if anybody wants to contact me about, you know, anything about gaming, I'm more than open to do that. We've had a fantastic opportunity here with UAT, and we want to keep that going and make sure that you guys all have the opportunities that you need. So internships, just being on the project, whatever you guys need, let us know.
And then the last thing, so that way you guys know, what are we looking for in team members? We're definitely looking for some animators to help us out, as well as 3D modelers to work on assets across the crash site. I'm talking characters, vehicles, props, pretty much everything. Also, effects artists would be nice, people that have solid backgrounds in working with particle effects and UI effects, so that way we can get more of that player feedback. We're also looking for people who are interested in spending a lot of time highly iterating on level design. There's a lot of work that can be done with the crash site to bring it up to an even higher bar of quality, and that's something that can be spread across multiple designers. As far as programming is concerned, we're looking to iterate on our gameplay. So if you want to kind of get more experience working with somebody else's code and bringing that up to a higher level of quality and kind of understanding how you can make it more efficient, make it feel more intuitive, working with it to just improve it in general, we definitely have opportunities for that as well. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is John Cavassi. I am the project lead on Dawn of the Dreadnoughts. So what is Dawn of the Dreadnoughts? Well, to put it simply, Dawn of the Dreadnoughts is an RTS game in which the map that the player plays on is this massive spaceship that is currently engaged in an epic battle with another of its kind. As the player, your job is to essentially take command of this dreadnought through various RTS mechanics, controlling the weapon systems, and flying it. I can tell you, no other game here allows you to fly a massive 13-kilometer spaceship to just go and wreck the enemy. So anyway, with that out of the way, let me quickly pull up our video. And so yeah, this is our current build right now. Last semester we did a lot of work in terms of revamping a lot of the systems. The first semester we were able to really get together, okay, what do we want to do? How do we want it to work in game? And then last semester we were able to go back in, really revamp all of our systems. We've got buildings in, we've got resources in, and really the core RTS mechanics. This semester what we want to go back and do is we want to get our units working, we want to get a ton of art, and really get the game ready for a release. Now what do I mean by release? Well, that's pretty simple. At the end of March, March. At the end of March, I'm going to be releasing Dawn of the Dreadnoughts to the public on Steam for free. I actually just got all the stuff into Steam as of last night. Everything's been confirmed, and yeah. So why would you work on this game? Pretty simple. In this industry, release games are the currency, right? It's all about how many games have you released and what have you done on them. The number one advantage to working on Dawn of the Dreadnoughts is that you have that release game. Your work and all the heart and soul you put into the game will be shown to the world and will be on Steam. So yeah, what we need from this demo, you can definitely see that we need artists. Artists are basically going to be responsible for working on all the buildings that we need, all the new units, the animations, texturing, unwrapping. We're going to need coders that are familiar with the Steam SDK so that we can go through and really get everything on Steam, get everything working, get all of our integrations working with the Steam achievements, and just the store in general. We're also going to need a sound designer because, as you can see, the sound, while I am proud of the sound, it does need a little work. So yeah, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you guys out there working on Dawn of the Dreadnoughts.
So, hello everyone, my name is Dakota Stoner, and I am the project lead for Gangs of Graffiti. So, what is Gangs of Graffiti? Well, it is a multiplayer arena tank shooter that, and it is, the premise of the game is a gang war has broken out near Lotus, and you are a part of a gang that is going around and painting the world to take the turf away from other gangs. Everybody is paint. It's very comic book style-y, very nitty gritty, and you go around and tag territory. So the new goals for this semester, we want to implement a new game mode. That would be the turf tussle. We want to make more stylized art, try to make it a lot less blocky and actually feel more like a city and a park and everything else. We want to push for early access and to eventually join the Independent Game Festival. So design-wise, we want to design 2 new levels. We want to make 2 really small levels that will be small enough to have 1v1, but big enough to be able to have up to 3v3 players. We want to have one of the levels, we want a lot of verticality. Another one, we want a lot more just open feel that is a lot more just fighting each other constantly. We are going to be whiteboxing these levels and figuring out how they're going to work out and what art we need for it, and document what Turf Tussle actually is, and everything is going to be going into it. Art-wise, we are going to be working on character models, hopefully getting 2 characters in, 1 female and 1 male model for the players to choose from and play during multiplayer. We are going to be working on making more weapons, actually putting tanks in, and a more diverse environment for the players to play in. Programming, we are going to be working on the weapon system, tank selection, and actually implementing Turf Tussle. And who do we need? We need gameplay programmers that are versed with Unity and C#, multiplayer programmers who know how to use Photon, level designers that are really good at making arena-style maps, and 3D artists, stylized and animated. They can make trees, characters, weapons and tanks, and 2D artists that are good at making UI, banners, posters, and tags, and everything else. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kyle Davis, and I am the game lead for Guardians Legacy. We're a new game in studio, and this was something that I really wanted to pitch. This is the reason I'm here. I know everyone's here for a reason, and I just want to convey that passion first, because this is a passion project to me, and I want everyone else on the team to feel they contribute to a game that has a part of them in it. So first off, what is Guardians Legacy? Well, I have a PlayStation up here. It's a little old, and that's kind of the theme of this. I want to mix old concepts with the power of game engines today. So I want to take the old RPG style of graphics and make an RPG that combines a lot of interesting mechanics that you don't normally see in RPGs from along their genre. For this, I want to add in a custom skill system that is node-based, where the player gets to create every skill they will ever use. Nothing you make will be exactly the same as someone else. So in this, you can make your character a dedicated ice mage, you can make your character a sword spell, you can do basically anything you want within the confines of what we give you as components to make your own skills. Also, I want to add in avoidable enemies. That's something that you don't really see in most RPGs. Usually it's you walk through the overworld and you eventually just hit a random encounter. In this, if you don't want to fight, you don't have to. But that's probably not going to work out in the long run. Along with that, I want to use a lot of the traditional nostalgia of old turn-based RPGs. I want to bring this as a linear story, so this is something where we can add a lot of creativity in crafting a story for the players to enjoy. I want to do isometric 3D retro-style polygonal graphics so that it continues with this older retro style. And I want to combine the overworld and towns so everything is seamless. The only time you see a loading screen or cutscene is when you're going to go into a building or cave. This will be a Unity-based project, and it will soon be under an LLC that wants to release this game. So this will be a published product at the end of it. Now, what do we need? I need at least one more programmer. I would like to have 1 to 2 more artists, but I know that's not going to happen with the current state of things. And I need at least 3 designers. There's a lot of systems we got to get done. This is a blank slate project, so there will be a lot of work, but I believe it'll be worth it in the end. For our plan, we're planning on getting our core base loop of what our gameplay is. You're going to be able to make your skills, have combat, go through the first 2 cities, the wilderness between. We want to have our combat to have some form of AI that tries to target what the player is weak to, and also we want to make sure we get a good amount of our equipment started so that we get a lot of our core systems ready for when we expand on. There's a lot to do, but I think with the people that I already have, and if any of you want to join, we're accepting of new people with a wide variety of skills because we need everything at this point. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, are we going to hear from Nathan today? Aegis? Nathaniel?
Yeah, we're not going to do this, yes.
Nope. Okay. All right. That concludes Greenlight Project. So please give him another round of applause. And with that, we've got a couple of rogue developers in the house. Both, I believe, are SIP projects. So let's welcome up Rift Wars to start. Come on up.
Actually, okay. Hello everyone, my name is Marcos Escobar and I am the project owner and project lead of Rift Wars. For those who have been through the Greenlight process multiple times, you have seen me here multiple times. And I imagine a lot of you have familiarity with the project, but for those who are new to it, I'm going to explain it in detail. So what is Rift Wars? So Rift Wars is a digital strategy card game that utilizes a 3-deck system that separates the 3 major card types of the game into 3 distinct decks. This is to create a new level of strategy and play for the players when instead of focusing on the luck aspect that a lot of card games sometimes fall in, and it really ruins the game for some people who feel like they've been cheated because they didn't get a good enough hand, or because all the cards just got handed to their opponent and they got wiped out way too easy than they wanted to. So by separating the cards, we allow the players to strategize a bit more, have a better idea of what cards they have available to them, and pick out their plan of attack a lot more satisfyingly. So the current progress that we have is that we have a build-up that is hopefully the basis of where we can leap off of as we continue on with the project throughout the next coming months. There isn't a whole lot to it. Right now all we have is the ability to keep track of the cards' attacks and their health, as well as create new cards on the fly by adding the artwork and changing the stats of the templates and just adding them to the roster that we currently have, as well as an archive of all the cards we've collected so far in the game engine. We've also been working on a bunch of card artwork, as well as new UI, new card backs that have completely changed how the game looks so far. Okay. The future that we want to do is to create more artwork for the cards, as well as bring in the next faction to kind of balance out the game's what's what I'm looking for, strategy aspects, giving the players a bit more options to work with instead of just the original faction that we have currently going on with the card game, as well as finishing up the programming with the engine and allowing a much more controlled experience with the card game as well, and allowing the players a little bit more focus with how they play the game. As Lynn said, I am a rogue developer, so if you are interested in either learning a bit more about the game or maybe helping me with the project, please feel free to come visit me outside at the end. Thank you. And
we also have Justin with Techno. Marcos, can you come see me over here?
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Justin Griffin McClinton, and I am the project lead for Project Techno. I'm going to be here with you for a short time since I don't have everything ready, and I don't want to take too much of your time up before picking teams. So what Project Techno is a rhythm racing game that takes a weird mechanic and makes everyone blind. And so to combat this, we introduced a mechanic called echolocation. Now, it's called Project Techno because we incorporate EDM for the rhythm aspect to help amplify the sound waves, which is the echolocation barrier. We've been working on this last semester, and this semester we're revamping and going on a creative aspect since we had our main mechanic down for echolocation. So this semester we want to get in a defined level, resharpen our echolocation mechanic. We also want to add the tandem mechanic for the players to be either the DJ or the driver, because this is a tandem game. So in short and all, I'm looking for programmers, those who can work with UI, those who can work with multiplayer functionality, those who can work with echolocation mechanics, and I don't really need too many artists, but if we could have a 2D artist, that would be appreciated. Those who can work on concept art. And thank you for your time.
All right, at this time I'd like to open the floor briefly for anybody who came in without a reservation. Now's the time to speak up if you want to talk about your projects. Last call. All right, very good. Now, while I bring Derek up here to give you the last announcements, please stay seated until he's finished. But I'd like to recognize all the professional developers that have come in and joined us here today. Give them a round of applause too. Thank you for being here.
All right, so immediately after we wrap up here, the leads of the projects will be outside at the tables that are set up. Go and talk to them, try to find a team. Look for something that you're both interested in, but also that needs your skills, right? Like if 5 artists sign up for one project, we're pulling you off and moving you to other projects. So, you know, look at who else is working on it and get that kind of done. You have until noon. At noon in hopefully 2:06, if it's not taken or we'll move otherwise. We will meet with the leads, we will go through the signups, the conversations, and we will sort you. When you get back from lunch, talk to any lead. So if you signed up for a project, go talk to that lead and they will let you know, yes, you're on my team, or no, you're on this team, go talk to this lead. Like I said, 95% of the time we get people matched up with the teams they want to be on. But I will move people based off the needs of the project. We're here to support all the projects, not just make one really good and 5 really bad. So that is our next steps. If you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Or follow the studio, don't follow me. I've got like 3 Twitter accounts, but follow the studio one. But now it's time to take that next step, get our teams organized. Then this afternoon we will go through essentially task assignment and get these projects launched. Any questions? ACS, I'll meet with you guys right after this. Depsbury Digital Media, let's touch base real quick as well. Go. Get it to me.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us here today. The summer or spring 2019 game job fair for the University of Advancing Technology.